want Ohio State fans to embrace this. Ohio State has a chance to become the New York Yankees. Make sure you like and subscribe. We do have content daily, and we appreciate all your guys' support. I'm Kris. That's Tyler. Welcome back. Got a loaded show. Brian Kelly got fired. We were talking yesterday real briefly, and we were really excited about this episode. I was told that Brian Kelly would likely get fired next year, and that was about 3 weeks ago. Obviously, things moved very, very quick. He ended up getting fired Sunday night after the loss to A&M. And of course, Tyler, it feels like coaches keep getting fired after we drop our week whatever reaction videos that you guys love. While you're here, make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps me. It really helps the channel. It really helps us and helps the show continue to grow. Tyler, what was your initial reaction immediately when Brian Kelly got fired?
That Brian Kelly's an asshole and deserves this. And I honestly, it's more of that. I thought that Saturday night killed Brian Kelly. I thought that was the final straw. Now, I didn't think he was going to get fired the next day, but I thought that was the game where like the LSU was going to be like, none of them, no more. You're done.
I honestly, like, for me at least, like, I think I told you this. I thought his job was primarily safe because when you think about it, that's the number 3 team in the country. When do we ever fault a team in the top 3 beating a team not in the top 10, not in the top 15? Or is it Brian Kelly's fault that team wasn't in the top 10 or top 15?
Yes. The answer is yes to all of it. Because there is something about LSU at night. That's not supposed to happen. That's not supposed to happen to them in their building at night.
I know that's not supposed to happen, but it's still crazy that was a big enough thing with that buyout for this to happen. And also, I don't know if you know this, the last 3 coaches, their first 4 years, what have they all done?
Won a national title.
And the SEC, both of them. You got neither of them. It's year 4, and this kind of slammed the door on neither of which being the case. But again, like I think that maybe it's a little messed up because this might just be A&M's year too.
Might be. But this also, like, Brian Kelly was never a fit. It was never going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, Nick Saban got it done, and he's not LSU. He's not Louisiana. But he's also the greatest college football coach of all time. You feel like you have to, like, love Louisiana. You have to love the Bayou. You just got to go all into the culture. And, like, it was just almost as if Brian Kelly, like, rejected it. He fired the strength coach that was from New Orleans, from Louisiana. You know, he didn't.
That had won 3 national titles.
One had won 3 national titles. It just seems like he thought that he was bigger than Louisiana, than he was bigger than the program. You know, and these big time gigs, no matter what happens, the reason why that they're big time jobs is because they are the program is still bigger than any one person. Ohio State is bigger than Ryan Day. It's bigger than Jeremiah Smith. It's bigger than Urban Meyer. Ohio State, Alabama. Now, some may argue that Nick Saban is bigger than Alabama.
Nick Saban ended up crossing over. Every now and again, you get a coach that crosses over and is bigger than the program. And when that happens, it could either be a really, really ugly departure or you could go out on top. And here we go. I'll provide some examples of coaches who became bigger than the programs, and you'll tell me if that's a bad thing or not. Nick Saban became bigger than Alabama, right?
Correct.
Pete Carroll became bigger than USC, right?
That's a hard one because there is arguments for both. I mean, USC was a not an argument program.
Okay, who were 3 coaches before Pete Carroll?
I understand, but it's like, I get it. I understand what you're saying.
He made them a storied program. And so I would say Pete Carroll got bigger than the program. I think that's fair to say. We can argue semantics.
I just don't know if he was there long enough, but nonetheless, go ahead.
Paterno became bigger than Penn State, and that ended up really haunting them.
Yeah.
Because then when things went bad, you couldn't fire him.
Right. And then when you did fire him, you killed him.
Yeah, literally. It's fucked up.
He
Like
died.
those are the coaches that became bigger than their universities.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't always mean like biggest job, right? Because like Mac Brown was a superstar at Texas,
Yep.
never became bigger than Texas.
No.
Urban Meyer was the man at Ohio State, never became bigger than Ohio State. Jim Tressel, the man at Ohio State, never became bigger than Ohio State. The only one that even came close to being bigger than Ohio State, I would argue,
Woody.
is Woody, based on like, the history of it.
Yeah.
There was a time where Urban got close to being as big as Florida, but old ball coach, like,
Sure.
so it's like we never got that. Very rarely does it happens, and when it happens, I don't think it's always a good thing. I think it could be a potentially dangerous thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That's true. It's a good point.
So,
Great point. It just was never. As soon as he said family, it was cooked.
mhm.
It was over. So if I was LSU, my first call would be, and you said it this morning, and I'm going to steal the shit out of it. Joe Brady would be one hell of a phone call, man.
Yeah, that's got to be the first call, because like when you are chasing something you've already had, you go to the familiar roads. If you and I, we really are hungry, dog. We really want to go get steak. We're gonna get on Market Street. We're gonna go to Fleming's or Hyde Park or something, right? Like when you have already had something and you know you enjoy it, you will always go back to that one thing. That one thing is Joe Brady. What LSU is hoping to capture always is 2019.
Yep.
And the young superstar that can help you capture 19 is Joe Brady. And then all of a sudden, like if you call Joe Brady and he comes to town, Lagway, just so you know I'm here. Underwood, just so you know I'm here. Arch,
Yeah.
just so you know I'm here if you want to come home. And that's a different kind of discussion. And I do think if Joe Brady came to LSU, Arch Manning would go straight there, because what do the Mannings care about? NFL development. But that's fantasy land. I was told by someone who would know, yes, that's the first call. He might take it, but that Joe Brady is very interested in an NFL coaching gig if he believes that a team has a franchise quarterback. That's what he really wants.
It does feel like Joe Brady's like waiting for the perfect job, doesn't it?
I honestly just, and I'm you can tell me if I'm like fan out of, like, if you can tell me if I'm being too much of a fan. When I hear that he might not go to LSU or might not return to college because he's waiting for a job with a franchise quarterback as a head coach in the NFL, I think to myself, oh, is he waiting for Dable to get fired? Because who are the young franchise quarterbacks?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you
And
just look around but here's my thing. If he's waiting for that, why won't you just go to college and you can essentially pick every year which quarterback you want?
that's the thing. Do you see it? Think, Tyler. Think. You're almost there.
I mean,
College is dating. You don't ever get to marry the quarterback. Do you think that Joe Brady liked having the year he had with Joe Burrow and then Joe Burrow gone forever?
sure.
No.
I get it. That's a good point.
In the
It's a good
NFL,
point.
you pick one. Like if he's waiting for a job with a team with a franchise quarterback, that means he wants that to be the next 10 years of his career, walking in every day knowing that's my
But
guy.
isn't that harder to find? I feel like that's so hard to find in the NFL.
It is so hard to find, but you know what else it is? Easy to identify. Think about where he's at right now. He's in Buffalo. I get to walk in every morning and work with Josh Allen.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I don't.
But that'll be called.
I'm not even. It's not even like I'm saying the perfect job isn't like, damn dog. At some point, you got to shit or get off the pot, bro. Like sometimes you got to make your grass green.
How long was Venables on the pot?
I just feel like I feel like Joe Brady's been mentioned for a lot of NFL jobs, and he's like, nope.
Hey, and Brent Venables every single year. He was at Clemson forever. You know one job he was waiting on? Oklahoma. Guess what Oklahoma did? Stoops stepped down. Said, nah, we're not doing a job interview. And you would think then that Venables might look around. No, he just stayed right. He stayed right where he was.
Well, unfortunately for Brent Venables, he ain't getting it done there either.
No. But the thing about Joe Brady is Joe Brady's also really young.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's probably, let's just say he says no.
Yeah.
We've already heard that Marcus Freeman. I don't know if Marcus Freeman's probably up there, but I don't think LSU's going to do the Notre Dame thing again.
I'm expecting Marcus Freeman to get an extension here the next 2 weeks.
And then, I mean, you got to feel like Lane Kiffin's going to have his choice between LSU and Florida.
It's a great job to be a Lane. It's a great job to be Lane Kiffin. And then Summerall, the Tulane coach. That's the first group.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to offer it to Lane first. And Lane's going to say, I think Lane will say yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think, and this is insane, I think Lane would take Florida over LSU.
Why?
Because I know who his idol is.
Steve Spurrier.
Old ball coach. I think. Do you want to rank?
That'd be a mistake, but I hear you.
It's only a mistake if it fails. That's the thing. Because also we know that Florida has some high highs as well.
Sure, but it took a psychopath to get there.
Yeah, and I don't know if Lane's a psychopath.
He's not.
So,
yeah, I would like. We both agree though. The one dude we would love to see down at LSU that won't get it is Fran Brown.
Fran the man.
Fran
man had that bit turned up.
That he would get the craziest. He had the all-time crash out team ever at LSU.
Oh yeah, bro. It would be a bunch of Tyrann Matthews. A bunch of them. Just, oh, who's that, coach? Oh, that's Tyrann too.
So let's have this. We started this conversation before.
Yeah, we were honestly in a really good think tank before the show, and I'll probably make that the pre-show think tank a members only video because I thought it was really good content, and I don't want to waste it. But
which job? We both agree that Ohio State is the number one job in the country. It has the biggest brand. It has all the resources you would need. It's coach proof. It has all. It checks every box. It has history. It has it all. The 2 through 4 is the interesting conversation, and we feel that it's between Texas, LSU, and Bama. And we had an interesting conversation, and I'm gonna go with, and I can't. This is a big switch up, and Kris is about to be pissed at me for this, but I'm gonna say it's Bama, LSU, Texas.
You're annoying. Dude, Bama's the second best job. Then it's probably LSU. I think Texas and Oregon are pretty close in terms of jobs.
So you would have Oregon over Georgia?
Yeah, I honestly have. I talked to a coach that said that he likes the Oregon job right now better than the LSU job. But the more I kind of dig into it, and here we go. I'm gonna do a cop-out thing. Oregon has the capability to be the second best job in the country or the third best job in the country. But the thing that is deciding that is an outside factor. And that outside factor to me is why I'm okay with having it be Texas, LSU, Bama in that second group. The outside factor is in today's NIL, I think Oregon can only stay on this dominant streak as long as USC doesn't figure it out. And I think the other jobs in this group, Texas, LSU, Bama, don't have that designation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if Bama's good, it doesn't matter what Georgia does. I mean, shit, we've seen it. Georgia was great in the time period that Bama was good. Bama still won their championships, right? Like LSU, Bama was great when LSU was doing their thing. LSU still won a championship. For Oregon is so dependent on USC being down because USC being down gets rid of the issue they have with recruiting base. So I do say Bama, LSU, Texas as my I'll go Bama, Texas, LSU as the next three jobs, but I'll have them be close. I do like my offensive linemen in Texas a little bit more and my quarterbacks in Texas a little bit more. They produce those two things because I think that Texas probably has better high school football than LSU or than Louisiana currently.
Sure.
So that's how I will slot them. I can't believe you pulled a flip on me like that, dude.
Yeah, I did. I can't ignore because I feel like you can't ignore the ceiling. The ceiling for Alabama. It's honestly what Nick Saban did, the ceiling may be higher than Ohio State. It might be.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Ohio State do it yet. The difference between Ohio State and Alabama is that Ohio State doesn't have bad years. There are bad years in Alabama's history.
And I also feel like this. It always felt like Saban absolutely maximized Alabama, right? I have not gotten the sense, and this might sound crazy, Tyler.
I say it. Say it with your chest because I believe the shit out of it too. I know exactly what
I've been an Ohio State fan since 2006. I do not feel like they've maximized their team a single time in the last 20 seasons.
Nope.
A single time. I do not feel like they've got
something is always missing. Something's always wrong or missing.
It's always off. And a lot of times it's self-inflicted. I feel like they have not maximized a single time, and they're still dominant. And that to me makes them by far and away the best job. I feel like Bama squeezed the orange. That orange is dry as shit sitting on the pavement. There's no juice left in that shit.
Yeah.
Whenever we see them play.
I agree. Would you put, because the next batch after those 6 teams is Texas A&M, Notre Dame, USC, and Clemson, in my opinion. And you can add Florida to that list too. We'll put Florida, and we'll kick one of these teams out of the top 10. I think Texas A&M is next. I think Texas A&M is such a sleeping giant, and they may have been woken up. Mike Elko might have woken them up.
Well, here we go. And I'll just say this real quick. I believe they are more similar to Oregon than people are willing to admit. Why? Their success might depend on if Texas catches. Because if Texas rips off and go on a run, that would really hurt A&M.
But isn't there Texas is a big state, brother.
That's a
big state. There's a lot of football being played in Texas.
But who else? But here we go. When Nick Saban was good, what state was he living in?
Florida.
And Texas. It's like, yes, it's a big state, but you're getting so much more competition to kind of narrow things out a little bit. But no, I agree with you. Texas A&M is a great job because like they spend like budgets aren't real. They spend like it's fake money. They spend like they could just go print more money because they can. So they're a dangerous job as well.
You want to know what prints money? Oil. And we need oil for essentially everything we do.
And Elko could end up being their Chip Kelly, right? Like Oregon's
Elko could be he might be the perfect coach at Texas A&M. Well, because it's not as flashy as a job as Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as flashy of a job as LSU, but it still provides the same type of feel, the big money, big stadium, big environment, not quite the pressure. It might be the pressure cooker that some of these jobs are. They paid Jimbo Fisher a lot of money to go away.
Yeah, that's because that one. I mean, when things fall apart like that, you have to.
Yeah,
I think he could be A&M's Chip Kelly. And this, I mean it by this. Who built the Oregon brand? The Oregon brand feels like a relatively new brand, right?
Well,
Chip Kelly built the Oregon brand.
When did Chip Kelly get there?
Chip Kelly was there 2010s, early 2010s. Like even 09, even before that.
Right. Yeah.
So like he made it cool to be Oregon. He made the Oregon brand.
Yeah.
Right now, there hasn't been a coach at Texas A&M to make the A&M brand. They're just kind of a team that like people look around like, okay, they could be really good, but no one's captured it to at least shine a light on what the ceiling could be.
On me a little bit there.
So Chip Kelly at Oregon like shined the light on what the ceiling could be and kind of showed everybody, okay, like there is a high ceiling here. And then the ceiling got an injection once the NIL era started. Mike Elko is doing the same thing that Chip Kelly's doing now, kind of shining light on the ceiling. I don't think they're going to win an Natty this year, but he's got a chance to turn that into the cool job. Because right now it's not. It's like it's a big job in terms of like this could be something, but we're still like ball of clay mode for them at least.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll see. I mean, if you have a lot of money and you got nice facilities, you have a chance.
Yeah, but it's more than that, dude. Because like if that was it,
well, you also have the right coach, and I think they have the right coach.
Well, I think there's something else missing. There's something else like in this whole job thing. There's something else that we can't quantify what does it because we don't think Texas Tech is near the job that A&M is.
Yeah,
and it's like why? You know what I'm saying? Like there's like
Yeah.
some things that we can't quantify in this whole job thing.
Yeah.
Because
I got to imagine that A&M has better facilities than Texas Tech.
No, bro. Go Google it. Google Texas A&M football facilities. They are absurd.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I guess we'll see. Do you think that? So Notre Dame, USC, Clemson, Florida. Just real quick, which one of those three teams? Which one of those four teams are you kicking out of the top 10?
Which one of what teams?
Notre Dame, USC, Clemson, Florida.
Okay, just real quick. I'm sorry to do this. Sports Dissected, and I'll do a video on it. 5 months ago, did a tour of the new Texas Tech football facilities. Do you want to know? Do you want to guess how much they cost?
9 figures. 9 figures is what I'm going to guess.
That is too wide of a range. Put a dollar amount on it.
So it is 9 figures.
Yeah, not stadium, just facilities.
I'm going to say there's a $250 million.
$240 million football facility. Yeah. So it's like we talk about like Texas Tech has it. There's something else that like we can't quantify yet, and I don't know what it is. But
have you seen the show Landman?
No.
Landman's about an oil company, and buddy, they have money like that.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like
if you own an oil company, you got money like that.
No, I know, but I like we can't quantify the difference in the Texas Tech job versus the A&M job.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But between Notre Dame, USC, Clemson, and Florida, I really struggle with the whole Florida thing with Miami and Florida State in there as well. I really struggle with that. And I don't know, but I also don't think Clemson is – why would Clemson be a top 10 job? If Clemson came open right now, would Lane Kiffin had it – let's just pretend that Lane Kiffin has his choice. He could go – he's got offers from Clemson, Florida, and LSU. I don't think he's going to Clemson.
He's not. He's not going to Clemson.
I don't think he's a fit there either.
Definitely not a fit there. I guess, like, I don't know what kind of job you think Clemson is.
I don't know. Their highs have been pretty goddamn high.
Their highs are really, really high. Like, give it to them. But, like, how much did NIL neutralize their highs more than anybody? Did NIL and the portal neutralize their highs more than anybody else's in college football?
It's hard to answer that question, though, because we haven't seen them have a coach that wants to use those resources. Use those opportunities.
Yeah. Well, and here we go. Let's to the conversation earlier. Dabo became bigger than Clemson.
Yeah, in a bad way.
Yeah, no, it ends up being bad. Like, yes, you win the Natties, but at what cost, right? Because then you can't fire him.
Yeah. I think Notre Dame is a top 10 job. I think USC is a top 10 job. And I'm going to say Florida is a top 10 job.
I know you've been down on Florida. We've like discussed Florida ad nauseum. I think Florida is just a far better job than Florida State and Miami. I think Miami is the most overrated job in all of college football. They don't have a college town. They don't have, a home stadium. They are not that big of a university. They're a private university. Their money seems to pop up funny every now and again. They have to overspend to get kids there because kids don't believe in the culture. And additionally, like, I believe that, like, when you're in places like Miami in football, like places that work in Miami, like things that work in Miami have to be things that work amongst people that love Miami. Yeah. And like, I don't think that Miami actually has the style of football fan base that they think they have.
So, Chris, are we stamping this together that it's Ohio State, Bama, LSU, Texas, Oregon, Georgia, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, USC, Florida?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
I think so.
Stamping it.
I think I'll stamp that. And obviously, like, I might wake up tomorrow and move 2 things around. This is my hot take of the show. I think Penn State is a better job than Miami.
Sure.
I think Washington is a better job than Miami as well.
Okay, you lost me there. How do all of these jobs, this job being open, how do you think this affects Ohio State? Because I want this to always come back to, like, how does this affect Ohio State?
Well, you're going to get a huge ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
Like this is going to be like the dominoes that are falling this year have a chance to do two things. It has a chance to cripple the SEC. And if the Big Ten, Ohio State wins again, they're going to have their pick of the litter and be able to raid the portal for whatever they want. Right now, at least, when you look at who Ohio State has lost recruiting battles to, they've lost them to Florida, they've lost them to LSU, and those two jobs coming open, guess who's not opposed to ever spinning back? Like what happened? Like when Nick Saban retired, what was the effect?
We got 3 Alabama players.
And potentially 2 natties.
Yeah.
Jeff McLaughlin and Caleb Downs won you natty 1. Natty 2 could be Julian Sand.
Yep.
So like the domino effect is we're Ohio State. We have money. We have resources. We can take your very best player and spend a premium on him because we don't have a ton of holes to plug. We just have the money to go spend for the very, very best, while other schools have to go like cast a wide net and aren't willing to spend that much for one guy.
I really hope that Ryan Day and Mark Pantoni and Schottenstein have sat down and be like, okay, we need to be ready when this portal opens. We need to be absolutely locked and loaded. I need to know how much money is in the bank so that I know how much I can go spend. And I can just and the thing about Ohio State is Ohio State's a program that's not going to change who they are with players in the portal. They're going to pluck who they want.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives them a luxury that, like, let's say they've raised $8 to $10 million. Well, you could go get yourself 3 to 5 players.
If that.
And difference makers. Like instant difference makers next year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I hope Ryan Day is ready to do. Because it would be Ryan Day. If Ryan Day beats Michigan and then goes and beats Indiana in the Big Ten championship game and then goes and dominates the transfer portal, now it's officially the Death Star is fully operational.
I want Ohio State fans to embrace this. Ohio State has a chance to become the New York Yankees.
Yes.
We've got great heritage here.
And coming from a Guardians fan, there would be nothing more than Ohio State to become the New York Yankees.
I mean, that's what we're on the doorstep of, right?
Yeah.
Like the Yankees, like the misconception with the Yankees for a long time is like, oh, they buy their championships. No. They had great culture, great organization, and they had a great farm. They developed really, really well. And then when there was stuff going on around other teams in the early 2000s, and they're like, wait a second. We're the Yankees. We can spend to take your best player. Like we can blow the rival out of the market in terms of money to get your best player. We're going to add them. They just won a championship. They've got a chance to win another one. And then guess what? Chaz Coleman, you're looking around? We'll double whatever anybody's offering. Come here.
Dylan
Like,
Stewart.
blew teams out of the water for guys. And like that's what I think they're capable of doing because they don't need a full overhaul. They need 1, maybe 2. And I think, honestly, they got a little sloppy last year by paying Bo Atkinson. They don't have to do that anymore.
No.
Evaluate. The things that worked pre-NIL worked post-NIL, but just in a different font.
Correct.
Evaluate and develop. You go get the very best you can, spend whatever it takes to get them in, and have be a difference maker. And you're talking about like we're entering a run where the Ohio State Buckeyes are the New York Yankees.
Correct. They got to win 2 football games. I need those. And they don't even have to win the Indiana game, to be honest with you. They don't have to win that game. I would like them to like prove everybody like I don't care who it is. It doesn't matter who it is. We'll just beat anybody. They have to beat Michigan.
Yeah,
that's the first step to all this.
What were they saying at Florida before the season? Spot the ball. Let's go. Like that's where I'm at with Ohio State. And it's funny because like obviously like we're dealing with a lot of Ohio State fatigue. Wait, just real quick before we move on. I think also all this chaos benefits Indiana, Illinois, Vanderbilt.
Yep.
Schools like that in the upper tier because they're gonna be able to clean up without anybody really noticing.
Yep.
So just like a quick note, like when there are, I said this earlier with Zach. College football is becoming more like what?
The NFL.
In the NFL, the clocks for coaches are how short?
Short.
But it's only becoming like the NFL for the big money programs who can afford for it to be like the NFL. And that's going to benefit the programs that can't.
Yeah.
In a world where everybody's getting fired after 3-4 years, turn around, because these boosters are realizing, wait, you've got Bryce Underwood. We got it. Like, you got to win right now. Wait, you've got Harold Perkins in them. Like, you got to win right now. I think that, like, we're seeing the top schools maneuver like that, and then kind of gets a little bit shaky. I do want to talk about this real quick. Heartline, rumored for the Penn State job. Thoughts, feelings, concerns, Tyler McCormick?
At some point, he's going to leave. And, there's a large portion of this fan base that's going to be really upset about it. And it's not that I'm going to be disappointed. Not that I'm not going to be disappointed that he's leaving, because he's done a fantastic job. But this program, we just said that this program is above any coach.
Yeah.
And, am I a little skeptic of him leaving Jeremiah Smith? A little bit. I don't know if he's willing to do that yet. I would be a little surprised if he does. I mean, you're going to leave and, like, not that he would lose credit for Jeremiah, but, like, it wouldn't feel like he finished the process with him.
I saw Phil Longo leave Drake May a year early.
Yeah. Why'd you do that?
Phil Longo is now unemployed.
Yeah. He worked really hard to get Jared. Like, it was one of the greatest recruiting wins in a long time.
It was the single best I've ever seen. Wire to
And
wire.
you're gonna go and leave before it's over? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, would I be stressed out if Brian Hartline leaves? Absolutely not. Ohio State has had great receiver play for 40 years. Teams have won national championships without the amount of great receivers that we have had since Brian Hartline has got here. In fact, we've only won one. Other teams have won while we have had great receivers. There is more to this game. Now, is it extremely important? Yes. Am I worried that we won't be able to get those type of receivers? Absolutely not. No shot. Because, one, Ohio State has Ryan Day's offense. It's literally built to feature top-flight receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Just cut on the tape. This is what we do. And you're always also going to have top 5 quarterback play with Ryan Day as the head coach.
And I can't remember the last time Penn State had a top 5 quarterback play ever.
Ever.
And I love Drew. Y'all know how I feel about Drew. I love Drew.
Yeah. And it's just like, because here's the thing. If Brian Hartline leaves, Keenan Bailey's probably out the door too. Probably.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Billy Fessler. Okay? The only thing that would honestly cause a little anxiety is that if none of them left, that they all stayed and Brian Hartline went on his own, which he would never do, then they would have to replace the offensive coordinator and receiver coach and nothing else, which would be a little bit of a headache. Not that he can't maneuver it, but he would be able to do it, but it would be a headache. It would be annoying. But they're going to be fine, man. It's just like, at some point, people have to realize that Ohio State's bigger than this. They are. They absolutely are.
I like Hart. Hart's a good coach.
He's a great coach.
He's really good. But can I just real quick, if Hart leaves Ryan, takes assistants with him to go to Penn State, there is not a better hirer on this planet than petty Ryan Day.
Yeah.
If those guys all walk out and I get the petty version of Ryan Day that is calling in all the favors, and all of a sudden we get 3 NFL coaches down here.
Well, we're about to see petty Ryan Day in about 5 days.
We are, but I'm saying if we get the version that's petty hiring and like, all right, bet you want to go and try to raid my staff when I made all of you. Billy Fessler, I made you. Keenan Bailey, I made you. Brian Hartline, I made you, which not saying he did, but Ryan Day's got that ego.
Sure.
You want to leave me? All right, bet. Watch this.
He's
That's
going
what
to go
happened
get.
with Jim Knowles, right? And you're going to go to the same place that Jim Knowles left me for?
I don't know if he would feel that way towards Brian Hartline taking that
No,
job.
because it's a head coaching job. And
I
not, and not a lateral
think he
move.
would tell Brian Hartline to go if he got the job.
Yeah, but I would.
But
there,
for Keenan Bailey and Billy Fester to leave him, yes, I can see him feeling that type of way. And if he did that, he's going to go he's going to hire an outstanding recruiter,
mm-hmm.
and then he's going to go hire an NFL quarterback and OC coach. It's just going to be what it is. And then we're going to have Matt Patricia, Ryan Day, and an NFL offensive coordinator. Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. It does feel like the chaos around college football, though, is setting up Ohio State to like really be a dynastic team. Like, I've kind of said this, championing this for a while. Once Ryan Day got one in this 12-team playoff, he was going to be set up to rip him off. And people always got on me. Not so fast. Hold your horses. But now, Tyler, since we've done this show the last 7 months, more and more people are kind of getting on board with that, are they not? More and more people are starting to like float the idea of, wait a second, like this feels like it really could be something. And yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny Guyton, I feel like Kenny Guyton would do extremely well as a receiver coach at Ohio State.
He would. I hate to say this, I like Kenny, and I shout out to all the young black coaches that are carving it up. I think he would kind of be a backup plan. I think that would be if Ryan Day struck out on his NFL guys. No,
I just don't know if he's going to get it. I think he needs a recruiter at receiver coach.
I firmly believe that he believes that an NFL coach will recruit itself.
They'd have to have a dynamic. They'd have to have a dynamic personality to go with it. Well,
I mean, yeah, but like, here we go. Like,
you can't be a boring NFL receiver coach.
Okay, yeah. Pause. Do you think that if Ryan Day calls who he wants to fill that job, do you think they're not going to be able to recruit? Like what? Here we go. What NFL
able
coaches,
to and excited about it are two different things.
Same goal at the end of the day. Same result. What NFL coach that Ryan Day hired couldn't recruit? Because the guys that can't recruit are the guys that have been around for forever.
Touché.
Right?
It's fair.
Like the guys that can't recruit are like what? MG, right? MG's an iffy recruiter. Shaky at best. Tim Walton, that's an NFL guy. Can he recruit?
Okay, I hear you.
Can recruit his ass off.
I hear you.
I mean, here we go. Jeff Hafley. Could he recruit? The whole world is ready to play for Jeff Hafley. The guys that can't recruit are the guys that are burnt out from being in college for too long. And that's my other theory. I think the idea, like I think it intrigues NFL coaches because what do we hear NFL coaches always complaining about? Well, yeah, like my team sucks, but I didn't get to pick the Jimmies and Joes. These NFL coaches, the young ones in particular, that come down to college football and they get big-eyed that they get to build their own room, that's new for them.
Yeah.
I think when we talk about like NFL coaches who don't want to recruit, it's the old heads, not the young ones.
Sure.
Because the young ones, it's literally their first opportunity to build their own room. It's literally like a kid in a candy store and with your first paycheck.
No, I think you're making a good point. Nothing I can say no to it with.
Yeah, I'm just saying, bro. Like Walt, we've always said Walt is the cornerback version of Hartline, right?
Yeah.
NFL DC had to deal with whoever the front office put in his room for years and years and years. Got to college football, couldn't wait to go build his own room. And what did he do? Built a great room.
Well, I trust Ryan Day to make the right hire. So
do I. Especially
I just think it's cool. The fan in me thinks it's cool when former players come back and coach.
Yeah.
No, because there's a certain level of pride when they go and talk about the programming that
well, it's like completing your career arc, right?
Yeah.
Like Laurinaitis like playing at Ohio State. Laurinaitis like playing in the NFL, being at Notre Dame, and then getting back to Ohio State. He gets to walk in and paint a full, complete circle for these kids that he's going to go see. I think that is really important.
Yeah. Really,
really important. We got Penn State this week. It's going to be belt to ass, right?
Line's 20.5. I think they cover. But we'll talk about it on Thursday.
Yeah. I just think it's super wild.
There's a storyline that we're going to want to talk about.
It's just wild that this is supposed to be 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 3. And You know, they have not won a game still since I wore that Penn State hat on the Menace to Sports show.
Well, don't wear it again.
Hmm?
Wait till after this week. You can wear it again.
Oh, you don't want me to turn off the curse? That shit is gone. I got a coach fired. It's all too powerful. That thing's powerful. The Browns.
We gotta talk about them.
Yeah, dude. They had a game over the weekend, and Dylan Gabriel might be the worst quarterback in the NFL.
It's not about them. This is not about. I'm just gonna go in for it. I know I just interrupted you.
Do it. No, do it, dog. This is your show.
This is not about them losing to the Patriots. They were supposed to lose to the Patriots. Patriots are better than they are. It's the fact that they have a quarterback who is unwilling to throw the ball down the field, whether it's because he can't see it, because he's too short, because it's too fast, whatever the reason is, he is first read, check down. There is no second read. There is no third read, and then the check down is supposed to be the last resort. He can't do it. This was the easiest quarterback evaluation we've ever seen.
Yeah, has there ever been more of a, well, what did you think was going to happen quarterback than him?
Yeah. I mean, and you know what? I love Denzel Burke, but damn it, I'm blaming a little bit on Denzel Burke. You made people believe that this kid could throw the ball down the field.
I was not expecting that stray.
I love Denzel Burke. I hope he doesn't see this.
I fuck with Denzel, dude.
But I'm over it. I'm done with it. Coming out of the bye, I need to see Shador. I need to see it. He could stink too, for different reasons, but he could stink the same. But we have to find out. This is it. If you're going to be bad, don't be bad and boring.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. That's the worst there ever could be.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather watch a bad, talented quarterback than watch a quarterback with no talent that is decent. And I think that's what we're watching.
Kris, Myles Garrett had 5 sacks in one game, and they lost by 20 points.
Hey, Myles spaz, dude.
When has that ever happened? No, think about that. One player has 5 sacks, and you lose by 20 points.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest single game performances by a defensive end that I'll ever see in the NFL.
And they got smoked.
Right.
He threw his helmet. He sat on the bench on the furthest end from everybody.
I was going to ask you about that. Do you feel bad for him yet?
I feel for him in that moment, right? In the moment of the game, I'm like, damn, this dude is doing everything he possibly can. And
he took the game over. He took the game over.
I feel guilty for him in that moment. But after the game, it's like, you had your chance, brother. And, I felt bad for him in the moment. But now that the game was over, I'm just like, well, dog, what did you expect?
Yeah.
You got sold on a bag of goods named Joe Flacco.
But it does have to be demoralizing. I'll say this. It does have to be demoralizing.
Yeah, you're about to see a really ugly side of Myles Garrett, I think. You could see a very ugly side of Myles Garrett.
I think it's demoralizing when you play a professional sport, or any sport, when you absolutely take over a game and it's not even close to being enough. I think that's demoralizing. It's like when you're LeBron James and you take a bunch of money and obviously you can't pay a lot of people around him. It's like, okay, I know if I go score 50, we're likely going to win, right? And if I score 50, we're not going to get blown out. What Myles Garrett did was the equivalent of scoring 50. And scoring 50 and getting blown out is gross, because that means that your whole season is helpless. The dream that you can sell yourself on if you are Myles Garrett is like, okay, if I took this deal and I got sold on a bag of goods, but if I take over this game, we should at least be within striking distance. And that is an easier pill to swallow than if I score 50 points, we still get blown out. Agreed?
Yeah. Yeah, I tough. And just Kevin Spacey came out today and said that they're rolling with Dylan Gabriel, which is just absolute incompetence, fireable, just all of it. But I want to talk about Andrew Berry. Everybody, and including you a little bit, said that he knocked this draft out of the park.
He did, bro.
Hold on a second. What were the problems that this roster had going into the season? They had no quarterback, they had an aging offensive line with no depth, and they had no receivers.
Well, okay.
Correct? No, true or false? Yes or no?
True, but you're leaving off a fourth thing that is important.
What?
Or fourth and fifth thing.
What?
Running backs and linebackers were bad.
But was the defense, any part of the defense, even remotely part of the problem?
Well, JOK,
no.
That was an issue. JOK, the JOK thing, made that a pressing issue.
Would you rather have had Jackson Dart or Carson Schweissinger?
Hey, I told you, JD was my quarterback one. So
okay, so answer the question. Would you feel better if the Browns had drafted Jackson Dart or Carson Schweissinger?
Dart.
Okay. You filled the top 3 needs were completely ignored. You drafted Mason Graham, good pick, but you addressed no needs. Nothing to make you even a little bit competitive. Then you went defense. The offense is so bad, and you went defense in your first 2 picks. Then, with a top 100 pick, you took a tight end when you already had a really good one, and a 5'10" quarterback from Hawaii. What? What are we talking about? You swung and missed. You took 2 quarterbacks in the 3rd and 5th round. One of them's 5'9", and the other one probably just isn't ready. He's a 5th round quarterback. You took a tight end. You took 2 running backs. You took no wide receivers and no offensive linemen. How does that happen? How can you do that? How can you literally stare in your cupboard and you make a list for your groceries and then you go to the grocery store and don't get anything you need? How do you do that?
That's fair. No, you're cooking right now. I got no rebuttal. I try to defend Andrew Berry. I can't today.
And then you take the quarterback and you swung and missed. Swung and missed.
John Kenzie Noel style.
Yeah.
That pitch was never competitive, dude.
Even if you go and you draft how much better would the pick they used Dylan Gabriel if they drafted another lineman? Instead, they traded a 5th for Cam Robinson, who's not even playing. It's just the most it's just he's not good at making a bad roster either. I can't spell it out any clearer than that. Paul DePodesta, Andrew Berry, Stefanski, they all got to go. They got to go. They need to restart. And if you can call Jerry Jones, the last act that Andrew Berry should have is call Jerry Jones and say, I have Myles Garrett. How many of those picks do you want to give me? Take advantage of an old senile man. I don't care. I'm not above it.
That contract's a little too hard to move.
Jerry Jones will figure it out. Jerry Jones doesn't know what even year it is.
No. This is 1984.
That's not a me problem, dog.
Yeah, he's talking about we got the first black quarterback.
I think that they're dead men walking. I think that they are, pretty much next to useless. I don't think they have any future. And I think it's just, it's over. And if you're a Browns, and also side note, if you're a Browns fan and you would rather see Deshaun Watson over Shedeur Sanders, you deserve all of this. Everything the Browns are giving you, you deserve it.
I believe, yes.
End rant.
That's honestly, Tyler, I'm putting that in the Hall of Fame.
I need old. This is where old Jimmy Haslam needs to come out. The impatient, irrational, sporadic, spontaneous Jimmy Haslam, where he just be firing people for no reason. I need that Jimmy to come back.
You're
somewhere
fired.
in there. Jimmy Haslam's going to come out and be like, "I'm over this. This is disgusting."
Yeah.
Like, you can't do this offense is worse. It's worse than the Deshaun Kaiser offense. Because at least with Deshaun Kaiser, he threw down the field. He got picked off. He threw it to the wrong team an awful lot. But, at least the ball was traveling in the air.
I mean, honestly, I'd rather see Bailey Zappi at this point.
Yeah. And don't tell me that Shadora's hurt. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all, the Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are cowards. They made him inactive so they didn't have to even worry about playing him.
Yeah.
They have 2 weeks to get him ready. Get him ready to play. And see what you have.
No,
this team sucks.
I guess I want to ask you, isn't this what you expected this year, though?
It is, but don't be stuck in the it is in a sense of I expected them to not win games, but I also expected them to show us what these young kids are capable of. Show me, force Dylan Gabriel to do it. And if he's not going to throw the ball on the field, don't be stubborn enough to not move off of it. You can't. Kevin Stefanski cannot sit there and on that podium and tell everybody that he thinks Dylan Gabriel gives him the best chance to win. That's a lie. That's lying to everybody's face.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't believe it. You can't believe it. There's nothing that Dylan Gabriel is doing that makes you think that he's the. And I'm not saying, and I want them to lose games, but the problem is that they're also boring. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, yeah.
I rewatched the game so I could talk about it, but I mowed my lawn listening to it on the radio.
It just doesn't have to be like this. Does it make you feel better though? Does it make you feel better though that all the quarterbacks in this draft class have been pretty bad except for Jackson? Or does it make you feel worse because why were we even drafting a quarterback anyway? Why don't we just
that's where it is. It's just if you would have drafted offensive lineman, a wide receiver, Quinchon, just some things that you actually need, and you didn't draft a quarterback, I would see the vision. I'd be okay. The quarterback, and then you see the quarterback class play out, and they all stink. It's okay, this makes sense. But if I see one more goddamn 2026 mock draft and the Browns aren't drafting a quarterback, I'm going to throw my phone out the window. None of this shit matters until you find the quarterback. None of it. Yes, Spencer Fanu from Utah is going to be, I think he's going to be a great left tackle. Cool. But I don't know. It's just nothing's going to excite me. A retread quarterback isn't going to excite me. I know it was Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and Mac Jones and blah, 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 blah. And it's just but how long is that going to last?
I mean, if you find the right one, it works. I just think that the Browns have proven they've been kind of one of the places that destroys quarterbacks who go elsewhere to work out, not the place that captures and is able to coach guys up.
They have to go find a general manager that is known for player evaluation, and they need to hire a head coach that either has quarterback who has proven history of quarterback development, or a defensive coach who's going to stay out of the way and let an offensive coordinator do the job.
I told you, I'm into the DC thing.
Listen, I said Brian Flores would be great. I'm in on Brian Flores. I am. This team needs some discipline. It needs some fire. It needs some it needs some of that.
Yeah, no, I'm in on the defensive head coaches. That's kind of the wave that I'm in. But you killed it, Tyler, today. You ever hear me out, or are we ready to just end it?
I got nothing left. That game pissed me off.
I'm Kris. That's Tyler.
Peace.